In this video today, we're going to continue looking at the most important levels on Bitcoin to keep you on the right side of the most important trade that matters. We're going to be looking at potentially how far this current move may run and where it may run into trouble. And we're going to take a look at where potentially be the next opportunity to go ahead and continue adding to these positions that we've gotten ourselves into. What's going on, everyone? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. Just for everyone that's just joining us, I want to make sure that everyone continues doing their best to stay on the right side of the most important trade that matters. If you're not currently following on Twitter, there's a link in the description below. Make sure you do that. This is going back to last Friday. This is before we had this major breakout. When I say major breakout, you're looking at this trend line over here that started in the top, the all-time high in November, and price has not been able to break above it until last week, until Friday. If you're following on Twitter, you know that on Friday, after the jobs report, price was rejected by this trend line. Price rejected by the green dotted trend line coming off, and then all of a sudden price started rising. I made sure before the technical breakout occurred that everyone understood that was a buy signal for me above 38,270. Sure enough, not only did Bitcoin break above, but since then, it has continued breaking all resistance out in front of it. We're going to take a look at that today. We're going to see at the major resistance that Bitcoin has been able to recover. We're going to take a look at where the potential next place to take an entry might be on Bitcoin. And we're going to look at potentially how far this move may go before it runs into trouble, as what levels you should be focusing on, when to know if and when this move was nothing more than a fake out. If you remember this move, this trend line was touching the November all-time high as well. And then again, it touched a peak over here. This was in the beginning of December. And then we had a breakout over here towards the end of December. This breakout, you could see, broke out here, broke the trend line, and then was faded. And then price took out that swing low over here, and that was a failure. Is it possible this current breakout is destined for the same fate, and this is going to be faded, and we're going to break down below further? It's looking less likely after today. Let's take a look at that. Again, you could see this major trend line. This is coming in from the October 2020 low. This trend line held the duration of the entire bull market, tested over in July, right? And then ultimately and finally this early January after testing it and then bouncing, breaking through it. Right? I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so you could see what that looked like. Over the weekend, I was sending out updates that we were consolidating below that resistance. And I was letting everyone know the fact that we were consolidating below that resistance was indeed very bullish. Since then, you could see that we broke out above that trend line. Here's that trend line. You can see we broke above that resistance and then came in for the retest, and then started resuming off this morning on Twitter, letting everyone know, right? There's the big level that was in play. And then this morning on Twitter, letting everyone know the breakout, the retest, and now we were resuming up off that level. Some people might have been wondering whether or not I was using that as an opportunity to add to my position. I was not. I'm going to explain to you why right now. Let me jump back over here first, and let's dig into this chart a little further. Currently, we have the breakout, the retest, and are resuming off over here. That is a very bullish sign that we were able to take that long-term trend line, broken down, and now again, get back above that broken support, get above that resistance. And then not only that, so far on the 2-hour time frame, confirm that as support. Now, that has not yet been tested on a higher time frame. I'm jumping over back to the 8-hour time frame, and it's quite possible that not only do we come back now and retest that, it's quite possible that on the retest, it doesn't hold. So what does that mean to me? What does that mean to you? Right now, if you are currently long on Bitcoin with a shorter time preference, right, and you're wondering where you might want to take profits, if you got yourself into the trade off of the breakout down over here, 38,300, and you're wondering when might be a good time to lock in some profits, you have a couple of different levels you could be watching. You could be watching over here when we had that breakout, that retest and resumption, that last low. That's coming in right now around 42,250. If price trades below that little bit of a retest, which will also be below that trend line, there's a good chance that sellers at that point may be able to take this lower. Right? We also have this level over here. I'm going to show you what that looks like by moving over to this log chart that we were watching, that we've been watching. You can see that same line over here, this yellow line around $41,000. I want to point that out to you. First, I just want to reiterate, this is the trend line that we've been watching, the resistance we were looking at, we wanted to get above. Price is now trading above it. Price also now making higher swing highs. What do I mean by that? You can see this last swing high coming in right around 44,000 and change. Price today has made a higher swing high. Again, the bullish repairs are being made in the broken down structure that we're looking. Bulls at this point continue to make solid gains. Does that mean that you should be uberly bullish on Bitcoin right now? No, I don't think so. We're going to take a look at that as well right now. But let me jump in over here to a smaller time frame just so you can see what's going on. And notice again, we were looking at two different trend lines from two different angles. This one was an upward sloping trend line that we've looked at in detail. This one was a downward sloping trend line connecting that, let me go to a higher time frame, connecting that April high and then that September touch. And then after price broke, there was a resistance. After price broke here, we had a quick retest and resumption off. And then it held up until that Friday over here, early December, where we broke down. Price spiked below it, closed above the trend line, and it held the duration of December. It wasn't until early January right here that price broke down, confirmed it as resistance, that broken support, and then again another touch of it as resistance before price broke down. We're now above that level. Let's take a look at that together on the 2-hour time frame, and you can see that level, that broken resistance, now confirmed on the 2-hour time frame as support, and we were zooming up. That is very bullish. That, however, is on the 2-hour time frame. Like I said, on a larger time frame, we have not yet come in for a retest. That's something to expect as price is now starting to become very overbought in the near term. In the near term, you don't want to be chasing entries up here. It's why I did not take this entry off the breakout, retest, and resumption, because price is now extended. Great that we were able to consolidate below the resistance, consolidate, and then break above it. That's very bullish. I would like to see now, if I am thinking about getting into a trade to add to my position, it would mean for me seeing a nice little bit of a retest for price to become a little bit oversold in this new uptrend, and then on a resumption out is when I would look for it. I don't want to chase price when it's overextended. I look to go ahead and enter when prices become more, let's say, oversold in an uptrend, and then we get a trend line break to the upside. All this stuff discussed this morning on the live stream. If you're not part of those live streams, there's a link below in the description where we get into detail our positioning and how we're working it out and why. If you're looking at this trend line over here, this is another area of interest. I pointed out this retest, the low of that retest coming in right around, that's coming in around $42,000. As long as price stays above that, that's quite bullish. If price were to break below this area, that might be a place that people say, you know what? This is an opportunity now where the sellers might be able to go ahead and push further to the downside. I am interested in locking in my profits off the technical break. That might be a good place to do that. And if you break below there, the next level would be this level that's highlighted in yellow, right around 41,000. This is that level of resistance we were looking at ahead of the breakout, and price broke out. And then you could see it also retested that over here. So as long as price stays above this area as well, at that point, the opportunity for the buyers to come ahead and go ahead and defend and bring this higher is pretty, I would say, probable. If buyers lose this level, $41,000, just under $41,000, at that point, most likely we're going to see a bigger and steeper retrace. At that point, we'll be losing the bullish breakout that we have gone ahead and put in, where we're trading above this long-term trend line now. We will be below it. And then over here, if we're able to take out that last line of hope, at that point, sellers will be taking us further down and probably is even as low as this trend line break over here for a test of that broken resistance to see if that holds as support. Strong chance the buyers will be defending that region right around $38,000 if that were to occur. Now we're talking about what would be the worst case circumstance in the near term. The reason I say worst case circumstance is because right now as it stands, we've taken out some pretty important resistance lines and we are trading above them. We're making higher highs. There's no question here that we are seeing a bounce on a big technical breakout. And so far, buyers are able to hold. We do have this Thursday, the CPI reading, and there's no question about it. That's a big one for the markets. And the next leg up or down is probably dependent on that. So make sure that you are following us Thursday on the live stream as we take a look at how the market is reacting and what is next. Let's assume that we've seen over here a big technical breakout and that this move has some legs and we're able to see some follow through. And by follow through, I mean up towards this region that I have marked as the danger zone, right? You could see if we're able to come up in towards that region, somewhere rough strokes around $55,000 to $59,000. At that point, I will be watching very closely to see whether or not the bulls, the buyers, are able to bring this further to go ahead and get to a position where they're able to test the all-time high on Bitcoin, or if we see, and as we so often do, a rejection of this level and we see a big technical breakdown. When I say big technical breakdown, I'm talking about these two areas that are highlighted in red. Each time that has happened, I have said that is a big technical breakdown, get neutral. In this particular instance, it was, I don't know what's going on. That's not right. Get neutral. And then we saw afterwards a big breakdown. Most recently over here in early December, ahead of the breakdown, I pointed out to everyone, if we are to lose this trend line, that's a big technical break. At that point, take all profits from the July low and make sure you get neutral. I think the next time that happens, people will be paying more attention. If we come into this region over here, this what I have marked as danger zone, if price is able to go ahead and continue with this momentum, at that point, if we have any type of big technical breakdown, I will make sure once again to sound the alarm and let you know to get neutral that we are seeing a big technical breakdown. Now, it's quite possible as well. There's no question about it. It's quite possible. When I talk about, by the way, this was shared on the live stream this morning. You can see right now the green on the true trend on the two-hour time frame is showing us that we are currently in an uptrend and we are overbought in that uptrend. I'm waiting for price to pull back, to become oversold in this new uptrend that is starting to develop. And then on a resumption out of it, that will be a place we will be looking to add to a position. You could see here on the higher time frame that currently we are still in a downtrend. And right now we are just overbought in this downtrend. That's why I would not be surprised to see price come over here and retest this level, right? You could see we could even get a retest of this area right around $39,000. And if that holds successfully, the bullish structure of the market is still entirely in place. So we need to be watching closely. What we're seeing are some very positive developments occur. We are seeing important resistance levels broken and price currently trading above them. But we still have a lot of work to do. And it's very important at this particular time. 2020, the most important year before you. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, take this moment to go ahead and not only subscribe to the channel, but hit this bell icon for all updates. If you really want to work with me and make sure that you are really focused, laser focused on the most important trade that matters, I recommend down below, you see the link for conquertrades.com. If you want to work closely with me and CTM every day, putting in the work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, live streams 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch the replay or live. Highly recommend that. If you're interested in education. Last thing I want to share with you before we get off here today is this over here. Luke Roman putting out that the most interesting development that he sees in the macro right now, he's watching as rates are rising. Right now you're looking at real rates rising. Fed beginning to hike rates in March. You're seeing gold is rising now. Pointed out, Luke, I think this happens every rate hiking cycle. My research shows the best time to buy gold is on the onset of a hiking cycle. That's confirmed down here below by Peter. Luke, not only liking the comment, but adding a follow back over there. That's a great joy. Share more closely with Luke. If you want to see that video, if you have some time right now and you want to see my research on why the best time to buy gold is at the beginning of a Fed hiking cycle, if you go down to the YouTube channel, by the way, 137 subscribers. Thank you so much, everyone who's participating with us on this journey together. Go to the uploads. Just go ahead and you could find gold will go crazy in 2022. Gold to break 2,000 again if the Fed raises rates. And you go ahead and watch this video providing some really strong alpha. And everyone, thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching this video. You could see what happened over the past week since I went ahead and I made sure that everyone, providing these regular uploads for everyone, making sure at this critical time that everyone could stay on the most important trade that matters, the value of it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed to the Twitter, so that you get these updates as they happen in real time as well. Everyone, thanks for being a part of this great community, the greater Bitcoin community, the greater crypto community. Everyone have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon.